understand FC United of Manchester, we must first start at Manchester United. Manchester United began as Newton Heath, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Football Club in 1878, officially changing their name to Manchester United in April 1902. Around the millennium, a family of Wall Street investors began taking an interest in European football. The Glazer family already owned the American football team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and were looking to invest in Manchester United. Around this time, disenfranchised fans decided to create their own club. FC United of Manchester was born.
We've been campaigning for a long time against the drift of the club. Been involved in the Independent Sport Association ever since it started, and a large group of us came together with the Independent Sport Association. We successfully stopped Sky taking over the club. We tried to persuade the board at the time to have a management buyout, which would then include the supporters, but they weren't interested in that. And in the end, the inevitable happened. The organisation came along to buy the club, and the supporters tried to stop it, but unfortunately the Glazers won, and we had to do something to keep that campaign together, to make sure the authentic voice of ordinary supporters was heard, and FC United was the suggestion, and here we are. We had some discussions with Supporters Direct about the best constitution for the club to ensure that we were a democratic club, a club that was going to be responsive to its supporters, but at the same time also put something back into the community. So we created ourselves as an industrial and provident society for community benefit, and we've got 3,500 members, 1,500 season ticket holders, and anybody who goes to any of our games can see the atmosphere that generates, the passion from people, because this is something that they own. Run a cracking run of form. It's just keeping it going. One thing you can never tell is when that run's going to finish. You've got to make the most of it every single game. But anybody who comes to the games at the moment can see the huge spirit there is amongst the players, and that's been hard fought for. The manager sat down. It's about 3 years ago now, and looked at the dressing room and what we needed to do to create that good spirit in the dressing room, and we recruit players now on attitude and behaviour. Their football's taken for granted. They wouldn't be on our radar if they weren't decent footballers. But now we're recruiting on attitude and behaviour, and you can see that they don't know when to beat. They keep fighting, and they fight for each other. Every player in the squad, whether they be on the pitch, on the bench, or in the stands, are all rooting for the players. We've got 4 lads here today who are on long-term injury, and they're at training, they're at the match. It's about all of them being in it together. It's fantastic. The search for a ground started in 2006, looking at different venues around Manchester. We got in front of the City Council in 2007 to talk to them about what our ambitions were. We'd already looked at 10 Acres Lane and saw 10 Acres Lane as an opportunity, as a sports ground that was in need of refurbishment, and we successfully applied for planning permission. Then through government spending review, the money that we were going to work with the council on putting into the facility was no longer available because of the cuts. So we then had to search around for another venue. We looked all over Manchester. There was a site in about a mile from the ground in Newton Heath that had capital funding already attached to it, and that was Broadhurst Park, where Moston Juniors were. The money had been put there by the City Council to develop a sports facility with Moston Juniors, but Moston Juniors couldn't bring the additional funding in to bring their dreams to reality. So we worked with Moston Juniors and the City Council, Manchester County FA, the Football Foundation, Sport England and Manchester College initially, to develop a plan for the new ground. When we were at 10 Acres Lane, the cost of the ground was about 3.6 million. By the time we'd got to Moston, it was more like 4.5. And then after the judicial review and the legal challenge, it was 5.5, 5.6. And as we stand here today, it's currently at about 6.5, 6.6. Costs go up because building costs go up, and also there's been the judicial reviews cost us a significant amount of money, and also the contamination we had to find on site. We found on site we had to remedy. That also has cost some additional cash. But every sign the hurdle was put in front of us, we've overcome it, and now we're just a few weeks away from opening the ground.